Hey guys, there's something new in patch 1.53. The next one, there's several new things, most of which I don't approve of, but something I actually do really approve of is a new game mechanic where pilots actually black out now and actually legitimately completely lose control of the aircraft. And this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. It basically means you can't do high-speed turn fights anymore, otherwise you basically lose control and can potentially crash. So it's not really noticeable at low speeds at all, but when you start getting fast enough to reach 6 Gs, which in the P51 is pretty fast, if you start doing, first off, it takes a lot longer to get to that 6G blackout stop you from pulling 11 Gs and ripping your wings off thing. But then if you don't hold it for very long, you lose control, and now my plane's basically flying pretty much straight. I have basically no control over it, and it just kind of drifts until the pilot wakes up. And this is kind of gets a little pay to winny in my opinion because this is heavily influenced by the crew skills, and it can be pretty game breaking if you're playing with a new pilot, which is really it's one of the only crew skills that really legitimately matters now is all your G resistance skills because it hits hard and it hits fast in some aircraft, and it really hurts planes like the P51 that are only turning at high speed. But yeah, whatever. Turn fighters weren't off enough as was. Except, to be honest, I mean, a Spitfire will do the exact same thing, will black themselves out very quickly. But yeah, it does not take a very large turn. Not even a quarter turn, and there we go. I mean, there's a little bit of control, but I mean, I'm not pushing any buttons. It's just, the plane's just flying straight now. And you come out of it, and you're turning, and wobbling like crazy. They did really seriously reintroduce the wobble. And it doesn't matter how you're trying to control it. It doesn't matter if you're using keyboard or just mouse or flying with joystick. That pretty much the exact same thing happens. If you pull more than 6 Gs for any significant length of time, you lose control of the plane. And when you lose control of the plane, you better hope you did what I did and were in a shallow dive. Otherwise, you're going to hit the ground. I mean, that's just how the game works now. To an extent, I do kind of like it. This is really gonna hammer jet combat, especially the jets that don't have G suits. The Sabre and the MiG-15 are gonna be okay, but all of the other jets are gonna be screwed now in high-speed turns because you can still maneuver to an extent. As you can see, I was able to stop myself from crashing into the ground, but it really and now I can't stop myself out from being in this climb. So you do have a tiny bit of control, but it pretty much just completely shuts you out. So you need to be a lot more careful in high-speed turns than you used to. And then there are planes like the P51, if you're not paying attention, absolutely still will rip, although I don't think I'm fast enough to rip. No, I'm not. But yeah, it can be kind of game breaking if you are a dedicated B and Z player, but I to an extent actually do kind of like it. It stops the more maneuverable planes because the Spitfire, the Mustang, I can't hit G-loc at all right now, but the Spitfire will absolutely hit G-loc and knock your pilot unconscious as low as 200 miles per hour. It's actually kind of funny. So anyway, let's consider that the end of the main video, and then I'll just do a quick recap of what I've discovered on the dev server so far. And this past the pilot out thing, it's something that should have been in the game a really long time ago. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, that's how piloting a plane at high speed works. The fact that it's taken them this long to add this is, in my opinion, the big problem. So we do have the new Lightnings. They're both broken badly. They're both very poorly modeled, especially the P-38L, which is using a military power setting for its war emergency power, like the first Bearcat used to. It's pretty horrible. And neither of them have the air brakes that they should. Pretty sure there was a new P-51 added at some point, or someone just found mention of it in the game files again. I don't really care. Not a lot else was added, to be honest. There are some bombers that I don't care about at all. The US did get some new tanks I don't care about at all. There's the new 109Es, which I don't care about at all. I mean, it's just not relevant to my life. I'd rather fly the F1 anyway. It's ranked lower still, despite being a much better plane. Russia got the new bomber yak, and I think they got a PE-8 that has cannon gunners, but I don't care. Britain got some new stuff that I don't care about. I'm pretty sure they got another Firefly, because that's just what they needed. And they did get the Hunter, and if you were expecting it to be after the Tempest, immediately, too bad, the Vampires and the Venom's now there, so, sorry about that. And Japan's getting a new premium that's apparently crap, and I don't care. It's basically a Zero that's worse in practically every way, and it's ranked a little lower, actually. It's ranked at the same rank as the A6M2. I'm not gonna lie, I think I prefer the A6M2. It's pretty bad. It's also premium only. Highly don't recommend it, not even remotely. If you're gonna buy a premium plane, get the P47M. It's actually pretty good, and apparently we're never going to get one in the normal tree, despite over 130 of them being built. So let's jump into this jet really fast and just see how horrifically devastating the new blackout mechanics are for jet combat. These new mechanics are going to hit the better turning aircraft the hardest. The worst turning planes can only really turn well at high speed, so it is going to be hurting them, but the better turning planes are going to be hurt equally as badly at high speed, but they're also going to be hurt at low speed. Well, the bad turning planes aren't. So it means you have to pay more attention. And if you're in a turn fight in a Mustang and you're sitting just shy of G-loc, and a Spitfire Mark 9 comes in and tries to do that magic throwaway 100 miles per hour but turn around instantly turn they love doing, they're going to black themselves out and end up just stuck flying in a straight line, and you can flat scissors back behind them and kill them probably before they can get out of it. So I think it's actually going to hit the Spitfires specifically the hardest. And this wobble is incredible. I'm not even pushing buttons. It's just the plane. This is how aircraft fly now. I don't. Why is my rudder going like this? Let's make it worse. Come on. There. I tapped the rudder button once. Let's see what happens. Nope. It actually got better. I don't understand. What is happening? Why does the world not make sense to me? Anyway, so F80C, turn hard as you can. Yeah, that's right. The F80, it can't even reach G-loc until around 400 miles per hour. I forgot about that. So it's not going to hit the P80 very hard, as it turns out. It's going to hit the Horton extremely hard. I mean, if you turn at too high of a speed, you're going to tear your wings off. If you turn at a medium speed, you're going to pass your pilot out. If you turn at low speed, you're still probably going to pass your pilot out because it just turns that well. Well, this plane does not have to worry about it at all until you're at rather high speeds. And I don't think it can maintain these high speeds in the turn anyway. So here we go, got our 8Gs. Actually, does the F80C have a G-suit? I think you might actually get a G-suit in this plane. Nope. No, you don't. Oh god, pull up. Pull up. I'm not joking. I'm at everything I can. Oh my god. Also, my WEP already died. I already ran out of water injection. That's actually a very major nerf to this plane. So it's still better than the P80, but not as much as it used to be. It's not quite the MiG-9 late killer that it used to be. That sucks. I'm already out of water injection. It's terrible. No, up. Oh god. So see what I mean? How did I survive? Well, survive is a strong word, but you know what I mean. Oh, the new water physics look absolutely terrible. I'm kidding. Actually, those look pretty good. Not that it matters. And my frame rate loves it, by the way. Loves it so much. So many smiles, so many lulls. Not at all pissed off about that. So let's try jumping in the Horton, I guess. I don't know. As all the new features they've added a bunch of new stuff that I don't honestly care about at all. I really think they probably should be concentrating on making the matchmaking not horrible, rather than concentrating on making the water look pretty. I honestly don't play this game for the pretty water. So it's nothing's really been added, in my opinion. Yeah, Spitfires are really not going to enjoy this. Basically, planes, you can still do, when you're doing a boom and zoom pass on someone, in theory, and hopefully if you're doing a competent, good boom and zoom pass on someone, you're not going to be turning after them for very long, and then you're going to level off and extend away. What this is going to do, this is really going to hurt the planes that are trying to be defensive. The Spitfires that you're diving on is going to have to do a hard high G turn to dodge you, and then he's going to have to do a second hard high G turn immediately afterwards to turn after you, and that's probably going to knock his pilot unconscious, and he's just going to be left flying along in level flight like an idiot. If he goes into G-loc while he's flying in level flight. If he goes into G-loc while he's flying straight up, I mean, he's going to do that lazy propping thing even if he didn't want to. And if he goes in a G-loc while he's in a dive, he very well may end up losing his plane because the Spitfire does rip at a rather low indicated airspeed. So again, it's easy to get mad at this screwing over the high-speed planes like the Mustang more, but to be honest, it's going to hurt the turn fighters even harder. So while in theory it means that you're not going to be able to do these high-speed diving spirals that the Mustangs are so great at, it's going to make those completely useless now because you're going to knock you unconscious and turn you into a sitting duck. But I mean, it's going to hurt the Spitfires the same way. How the maneuverable planes love doing their split S's and getting into their nice high-speed fast turn to dodge boom pass. They're still going to be able to do that, but then they're going to be stuck in level flight after they do it for a while. So overall, I think this is really going to screw the turn fighters more, even though it is screwing everyone. So Horton, don't rip. Don't rip. All 9 of those G's. All 11 of those G's. I can't handle all the G's, and I can't press the keyboard turn button, otherwise I'm just gonna die. Oh wow! Oh wow! That was incredible. And there we go. So the Horton can knock its pilot unconscious at 300 miles per hour, and accelerate. I mean, this is it. This is how the plane turns. Oh, and then you come out of G-loc and your wing snaps. Yeah, as I said, I think this is gonna hurt the Spitfires the worst overall. So what's a plane that isn't gonna rip, where I can just hammer onto the elevator at rather low speeds? Actually, let's try the Zeros. I think it's going to be funny seeing how badly G-loc just destroys the Zero now. Yeah, it is. It's going to hurt planes that rely on turning more because it only hurts planes when they're turning. The P-51, you shouldn't be doing a hard, long, high G turn in the Mustang. So this is something that they're just not talking about it. All of these other more interesting things are happening right now. But I think this new introduction of the more aggressive G-loc that I've been asking for a long time. I'm not gonna lie, it might have been one of my 20 suggestions that Gaijin read and decided to put this into the game. Although, to be honest, it should actually happen at lower Gs. We should be getting stuck at around 4, not 6. And we should be knocked unconscious quite a bit quicker when we do pull the harder Gs. I'm pretty sure the Zero can't rip itself in turns. Can the Zero rip itself in turns? We're gonna find out. I hope it can't. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have gotten in the third Kai 43. Yeah, the third Kai 43 with its magic 1945 engine of happiness. That roll rate, though. That's an incredible roll rate. To be fair, the Zero actually does have a really good roll rate if you use the rudder like a half-competent pilot would. Rolling like a champ. And then you start getting above 180 miles per hour, and even with the rudder, it just stops. So, yeah. Also, just in case you're wondering, model with reduced textures. Just in case you were wondering. They really don't want you to forget that I didn't download the enhanced textures because I'm a lazy piece of shit. Alright, so we're going to do some nice split S-ing out of the G's. I want all of the G's. Give me my G's. My G's. I can't handle all of the G's. All of the G's. And there we go. Oh shit. Oh shit. And again, nothing there. Yeah. So see what I mean? This is going to hit the turn fighters hard. The planes that are flying back and forth, taking passes, only turning at the top of their zooms while they're at low speed anyway, those planes are going to be fine. Those planes aren't going to run into an issue at all. This is going to hurt planes. Something I always loved doing in the 109 was building up a lot of speed, because if you're turning at high speed, then everyone has the same turn rate. You can't really do that anymore. So it is going to force the medium speed turn fight slower, which is going to benefit the turn fighters. But it's also going to prevent them from even attempting medium speed defensive maneuvers for any significant length of time, which is absolutely going to destroy the turn fighters. So this is going to shift things more to low speed energy fights or high speed passes. It's going to shift us out of the medium speed range, which is going to hurt planes like the Kai 84, and that is going to hurt planes like the 109 F4. If you like playing it aggressively like I do, it's going to really hurt planes like the P-63 that dominate that medium speed range, because they're not going to be able to fight in the medium speed range anymore. And I don't want to test the... I've heard some scary things about the G2. But because I've replaced the G2 with the F4 anyway, I'm going to test the F4 instead and see how horrible it is. So what tabs do I have open right now? I'm curious. Hey! I don't have any tabs open at all except the one that I want. Except for all of these tabs. Forget about those. I'm not reading anything ridiculous online right now. What are you talking about? Hey! My manual engine controls are still here. Hey! And the 109 doesn't have prop pitch anymore. Oh, it does. It just says, oh, they added the auto prop pitch and they added the auto radiator. Oh my god. So you're going to have to remember to turn the... I also killed my engine apparently. I don't remember pushing I. Yeah, I didn't press I. Okay. Okay. So this is my life now. I don't have an engine. Spamming the shit out of the I key. Pretty sure they didn't change the key. Well, I mean, they didn't. I have all of the... Did I kill the engine? What the hell just happened? I don't understand. Well, it doesn't make sense to me. What's going on? I don't... So I is off and on, right? Yeah, that's off. And that's on. So the I key is the on and off button. Fucking around with manual engine controls, we don't have mixture control. We're just gonna leave prop pitch on auto. And we're gonna just turn the radiator down because who wants a radiator? And power! I want all of the power! Forwards! Yonder, onto, over there now. Yeah, I like this plane. It also doesn't have that stupid sand filter that doesn't mean jack shit in the middle of northern Germany. I really like not having a sand filter. It actually upsets me pretty greatly that the G2 Trop is the only one we have on the normal tree. Anyway, so let's see what my climb rate is. That looks about right. This is not going to be the most accurate climb test I've ever done. It's around 23, 22 meters per second. That's actually quite a lot lower. I distinctively remember it getting as high as 25 meters per second by about a kilometer. I don't think we're going to get quite that climb rate. We might, though. Well, I mean, what the hell do I know? 23 meters per second? Yeah. So, the engine nerf to the F4 didn't happen. That's good news. They did change the aerodynamics. Just how aerodynamics are calculated in general has been updated. More accurate's a strong word, but it's not less accurate, so I'm calling it a win. And pretty much everything should have lost a little bit of climb rate, and it's gonna make it up to 24 meters per second. What did I say? It's lost a meter per second. That's not something to whine about. So yeah, it's the F4. So does it still turn? Does slats work? Is the specific question I meant to ask. Get back up to 200 miles per hour. All of my miles and all of my hours. All of the turn in the world. It appears that the slats don't work anymore. It appears that they've oh my god. It appears that they've elevator glitched it again. That makes me sad now. I can still loop though, right? As long as I can still do my pullouts at the bottom of my loops without blacking out, I'll be happy. And the answer to that question is a resounding yes. You can. You can loop. You can loop. The 109's favorite fighting tactics work still. Yay. Although I'm willing to bet that a Spitfire very well may manage to pull enough G's at the bottom of these loops to actually black themselves out. Again, this is going to hurt the turn fighters worse because they're going to have to worry about blacking out to even lower speeds than the worst turning aircraft. Although I am a little upset that the slats on the F4 have been broken again. They fixed it like a week before this patch is going to go live, and they've immediately broken it again. That makes me sad and cry on my insides. And now that I'm doing 400 miles per hour, if I try and turn really hard, I'm going to lose consciousness. I mean, that's just a fact of how this game works. 9 Gs and sustaining it even. Holy crap. And I'm going to pull somewhat horizontal because I don't want to smash into the ground if I black out. No, I didn't. I didn't black out. I did it. I survived. My slats are still not working, even this extreme airspeed. Damn it. They broke my favorite plane again. Why does this keep happening? This poor little plane. But as you can see, the 109 does not actually turn well enough to really need to worry about blacking out at relatively low speed. While you saw with the Zero, even at very low airspeed, they absolutely do need to worry about it. So it's, again, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty confident in saying this is going to hurt the turn fighters worst. It will be noticeable in boom and zoom planes, but if you're turning long enough at high enough speed in the P-51 that you're blacking your pilot out, you're wasting too much energy and you shouldn't be turning that hard. I mean, that's that's a major fault in your flying style. It's not necessarily the plane. If anything, this is going to force momentum fighters to fight like momentum fighters more and to stop trying to pretend to be turn fighters. So overall, I'm happy with this. But I do have a better question. What happens when you crash a wing into the ground at relatively higher speeds? I need to know. In the last patch, you could actually drag the 109's wing across the ground for quite a while before it fell off. Not anymore. No, the wing just pops off again, like it used to. Oh well. To be honest, that's not exactly the worst thing, but I did like doing that. I like dragging my wing across the ground and not having it fall off. But, you know, whatever. I consider this English, it's a language, so. I'm gonna have to rework my recording again, because once again, the frame rate has gotten so bad, it could be worse. I mean, look at all those beautiful trees that tanks can't hide, can't see through anymore. That affects me so much in my 109. I'm so happy that they've once again ruined their mode for tanks. That just makes me happy. But anyway, for those of you that don't have crappy computers, or for those of you who have a crappy computer that don't try recording everything, it's not a bad patch. It's not a great patch. Almost all of the aircraft they've introduced are either broken or redundant, and, well, they didn't fix any of the actual serious problems, but they haven't introduced any. So overall, it hasn't gotten any worse, and they've introduced something, in my opinion, makes the game better. I will absolutely understand. It's one more thing people have to worry about, and it's one more thing that's going to really piss people off, and it makes it significantly harder. You used to be able, in planes like the Horton, that if you press the elevator key, its wings came off, you used to be able to sort of slowly bring it into G-loc, and then just turn on the 6G limit. You can't do that anymore, because the 6G limit doesn't exist until your pilot blacks out. So you can't do that anymore, which is going to hurt planes like the Horton quite a bit. It's going to somewhat hurt planes like the Zero. And it's going to hurt planes like the Mustang. It's going to hurt planes that you used to have to sit on G-loc, otherwise their wings would fall off. But, I don't play those planes. It's fine for the energy fighters, and it's really going to screw the turn fighters, which I love. I love. So all the more reason to play the 109F4. I mean, yeah, they broke its turning again, but overall, could be worse. So I'll see you guys next time. I personally do really enjoy this, but it is something that's going to take a lot of getting used to. So if you ever see out of control flashing on the screen, it means you turned too hard at too high of speed, and you shouldn't do that. So I'll see you guys next time. The game just got more realistic, but in a somewhat potentially game-breaking way if you're a turn fighter, which I'm not. So, suck it. So I'll see you guys next time. I've said that like 12 times, but I mean it this time. Seriously. Get the fuck out.